they will then tell two friends.
Yes. It's
and
a
so
math.
on.
It's a profit deal.
And so on. 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 Yeah, the stuff they miss if they don't tune in early, right?
And so on.
They think the countdown is like skippable. And this is like, if you're hearing this right now, your name goes in the hopper 7 times, so you got to claim it by saying so in the comments. Otherwise, there's no way we're going to know. 1 per entry, or 1 per customer. All right, here we go. All right, I'm feeling it. Hope Rob's feeling it too.
I've got a story. I don't know if you have time for it. Do you? Oh, good, because this is, well, okay, so this is about when I met, personally, Rob Scott and Bob Doyle at the same time, just moments before they were going live with the Lounge Show. I was, well, you can imagine, I was speechless. And can I just tell you, they were delightful. Rob especially. Bob is, he's a little different, but, you know, I think it's a good balance for Rob's obvious talent, you know. I don't want that to come out wrong, of course. Bob is, well, I guess we'll just leave it at that.
It's The Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle, 2 veteran broadcasters who love to hear themselves talk and are somehow able to tolerate each other. Let's see if you can tolerate them as well. Here's Rob and Bob.
And our names are on the screen. It's going to be a good day.
It is going to be a good Loungeville.
Actually, I woke up this morning and I had a note from
With a wine
Tracy.
glass in your hand?
No, but nice Frampton reference. Woke up and there was a note from Tracy on the coffee maker saying basically that today was going to be a great day. By Latbat, lovely and talented booth announcer Tracy.
Yes, lovely and talented, both.
Oh yeah, all of those things, lovely
and
and
talented. What did the note say? I'm sorry, I was instead of
well, among other things that are none of your business, it said we're going to have a great day today. No clue why, but it's just going to be. And so here it is. The great day has started at 6 p.m. Pacific.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, I was drinking tea. I'm behind. Hey, what's going on here? There we go. Man,
I had to beat you to it.
Low on the draw.
Yeah.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Okay.
All right, 9 o'clock out there. So that means it's time for the Lounge Show, and I'm Bob.
And I'm Rob Scott, and I'm in Atlanta. And Bob, as you can see, it even says, it says he's there. He's in Vegas. And we weren't here last week because Bob and the lovely and talented booth announcer Tracy were doing social things. They were out and about.
No. It was our 4th anniversary. But first, real quick, check in with the still blurry cam, ladies and gentlemen. The still blurry cam.
A little less blurry.
It's only because It's only because there's light. As soon as it gets dark, it's full on blur, my friend. Full on blur. I cannot believe that someone in our vast audience has not gotten in touch with them or taken the drive.
Yeah.
To go get this thing fixed. I mean, look at the view. It's not such a bad drive, am I right, Rob? I mean,
no, it isn't. We've made that drive many times. We've made that drive in many different vehicles. We even flew one time, if I'm not mistaken.
Look at that. A Bodie is going across. Bodie.
Wow.
Look, Rob, do you see the Bodie?
I do. It's on the lakey, Bobby. It's wonderful.
Right. Oh, it's going past the docky.
Yeah, so, and as you can see, there are, the piers are all in, boats are docked because this is it. This is warm-up week. If you are a Lake Geneva a res now, or even more so, if you're working, if you're living there and you've got a job for the summer, this is prep week because this weekend is Memorial Day and that's the official launch of Please Bring Your Money Here and Spend It.
So what kind of stuff is going on out there, Rob?
Finishing up on getting the piers in, obviously, and all your restaurants and your bars. And I mean, really, it kicks off. I saw quite a few out on the lake this morning watching the other cam, the Gordy cam that we sometimes use.
Yes.
And anyhow, so there were boats out. There was already a regatta going on this morning, a sailboat race.
Yes.
So the season is upon them. And even I would tell you, Bob, that this time of year, the water is cold.
Cold. It's still got to be quite icy, just under icy.
It really is cold. And the whole deal was you go in on Memorial Day
Nope.
Oak and I, and we
Yep,
always have
you,
this is a
not me.
tradition.
No.
Well, and for years, you have to, and so then eventually, though, it's kind of like you're on your first legs. Eventually, the kids went in on our behalf. We would have our children go. I can remember many times Oak goes, "Yeah, Liam didn't like it, but it was accomplished." And you go in right at the ladder because you don't want to like dive out and no, you go right in at the ladder. So this minute,
Rob, is it possible we were up there for one of those?
I don't know that we were up there.
Well, okay, because I know about the ladder, that you did the ladder. You did it, but maybe that's just how you always. Oh, look at that.
No,
Hold it.
Hold
I'm
it.
in Las Vegas and now, but my hand,
Yeah.
my hand is in Atlanta. Some
Isn't
of
that
it is getting cut off. I screwed up.
You're monkeying with my microphone, I think. That's what
Yeah, that's right. I'm reaching.
You're fixing
Okay.
it. Hold on. Look, do it
This
again.
is-
Do it.
this is-
There
Rob,
it
this is such a missed opportunity bit. I don't know
Yeah.
what we do with it, but
I was
you know,
going to say, it's a missed opportunity, all right.
to suddenly
Is
be
there
in
something
Atlanta.
to do?
Hold on, let me just. Hi.
Oh, look at
I'm in
that.
Atlanta. Whoa.
Oh,
Wow, I
know
know
you're
airport
back.
traffic. That is crazy. All right.
That's
Hi, Carol.
like
So
it's like a Marvel movie.
Tracy's mom is watching today. I don't know if the
Very good.
others, Sponholzes and Hummingas, are out there watching. I know Tracy just got back from a Costco run, and so that's the most inconvenient one for me not to be available for, right? Because there's not even bags and stuff. So it's just a bunch of individual things you got to bring in.
Yeah.
And she went
Costco.
to the other place.
I got to tell, I did a Costco run. I think we talked about that a few shows ago, that I went on my inaugural, although I had been to Sam's. So I knew the layout. But still.
You got the gist, yes.
Yeah. But man, I'll tell you, I still am waffling. I get it. Why dollar for dollar. You can't argue with math. But boy, the whole thing is almost surreal to me. And you're right. There's no bags. You got to find an old cutout cardboard can carrier that you put your crap on.
Yep.
And then you've got the folks that I know are seasoned veterans at the commissary. They're doing their thing. You can get this hot dog for $1.40. And then what I do is I get the chicken bake and I shove the hot dog right in the chicken bake. I go, oh, okay. That sounds good. You can do that for like $4. I get a chicken bake and I put the hot dog right, just shove it in the chicken bake. And then what I do is I get a Mountain Dew before I walk, and then I have one on the for the ride out because it's a refill. It's free.
Rob,
Go,
you have to join. You've made a friend.
He was a nice guy. He was a nice fella, but I thought it fascinating that he shared the details of the commissary navigation that he had obviously over time. But yeah, and like the toy, so I bought paper towel. I got like 20 rolls now, which is fine. I'll go through them. You won't. And I also bought and then did some research on Kirkland brand meat. Now
You did a deep dive on Kirkland?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need deep dive music, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't have anything.
What's it going to be? Hold on.
Oh, that's better.
Is there anything
like
playing?
Yeah, it sounds
I don't even know
like
what that is. Okay.
It sounds like the pulsing music that ran in Scarface a lot when he was just finished murdering people.
I never saw
It's
that one.
It's like that synthesizer moog kind of sound.
I'm sure it's messing with your voice, though.
Well,
all right. Anywho,
so
go ahead.
the point is, I made a miso beef and noodle dish with a chuck roast that I bought there, and it seemed to me that the chuck roast was a little overly tenderized when I was done. Like its texture, it was fine, tasted fine. It was just a texture thing, and so that's when I did the deep dive into Lakeland meats. And what Kirkland. I'm sorry, not Lakeland. And what I come to find out, it's not bad, it's just a thing, is that they do what's called blade tenderizing to their meat before they pass it along to the consumer. And blade tenderizing is basically the jacquard.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Now,
And
folks,
so
if you don't know about the jacquard, and maybe some of you don't, Amy, Jason, Mom, I don't know if you know.
Oh,
I wish I could just go and here, hand it to me. Okay.
I could go downstairs.
It's basically a little. It's about the size. It's about like this. It's a little rectangle. I'm trying to think about a scrub brush with spikes.
Okay.
It goes. My elbow's in Atlanta. It just goes ka-chunk, 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 and puts all these multiple blades very closely put together, densely blades, and it you're literally putting knives through this meat.
Yes,
And
they're like tines. I like to describe it like a tine, a metal tine, and there's 48 of them, and they're kind of spring loaded. And you basically pound the crap out of chicken, beef, pork, whatever, and it tenderizes, and it also puts these little channels in there so that marinades and so forth can permeate
Yes.
better
did you do
And
that with
it-
London broil?
all the time.
Yeah.
And I thought of you this past week. I went and I bought a what was the cut of steak we always used to flat iron.
Flat iron,
And
yeah.
I grabbed. I made fajitas and I used flat iron steak, and I hit the jacquard on that because that's kind of a tough cut. It's a real lean meat, and you got to bang that around a little bit with the jacquard. But anyway, the point is, I double jacquarded because they do already before they sell the Costco meats, and so it was a little mushy.
I see.
And so now I know not to do the jacquard number on their meat because it's already been, as they call it in the biz, blade tenderized.
Yes, well, that's nice, ladies and gentlemen. You see the stuff you learn on this show. I pushed the wrong freaking button again. I don't even know what's going on. Hold
I don't
on.
know. We're going to lose our contract with Netflix now because you keep
Right.
hitting the wrong button.
Well, they like it sometimes. But
So I watched. Go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, I got. Well, I really got nothing.
You know, considering we
I was
haven't been
gonna
on
say.
in 2 weeks, I don't have 2 weeks worth of crap scribbled down on a piece of paper. Although I do have a picture I can show you. This is kind of interesting. I think it's interesting. Okay, now let's see if I can. I always get confused with the toggle camera preview. No, screen sharing. Select to share. See, it's not like share.
Classic. Let's
see,
really just zoom right in on him with that
Well,
concentrated
no, I
look.
don't-
Now we
yeah,
get to
I'm
see
not-
his whole the whole
I don't
steampunk
know why.
lamp.
See, but it's not letting me do it. I can't even share the screen now. I used to be able to do that here, boys and girls. And now for whatever, choose what to share. Chrome tab window.
Oh, here
entire
it
screen.
comes. Here it comes.
Here comes what?
Well,
maybe this. Maybe this will work. Look at that. It did work. Ha.
Wyndham
There we
Woods, Yard of the Month.
Yes, the man of action. Congratulations to Mark Howard, man of
Really?
action.
Well, you know what?
Whose house and landscaping is now deemed the yard of exactly.
of all
The yard of the-
of all of our friends.
yeah.
He's the
right.
one who's
Yes.
wanted it the most, even if he hasn't
Yes.
said it so out loud. But
Yes.
we know he has always taken meticulous care of his yard, etc. From my memory, don't screw it up if I'm wrong.
No.
But my memory is he.
He was very passionate about his landscaping.
Yes, that's what I
And
thought.
interestingly enough, over the years, he would say things like, Tom down the street, I can't. He got yard of the month. Have you seen that? I go, no, Mark, I really haven't seen it. I didn't even know. It was
The
Tom.
voice you're giving him is way too high. It's
I
like
know.
your voice is lower than his in this story, and that's just not like I can't.
Well, no, I
You
know.
gotta be
We
guy
all
like
know.
this.
Well, we
you know
all-
that guy Tom off the street.
Yeah, I know, don't you?
Yeah, Yard of the Month for some reason. You know, leave that.
guy
And
down
then
the
you
street.
come up here.
The guy down the street, his house sucks, and he won Yard of the Month.
I can't believe it, Mark. It's almost that different
That's it.
because Mark's voice is way down there.
And
man.
it sounds like it's in an echo chamber for some reason.
Yes, he's. But now look, God bless him. He had for 30 days massive bragging rights. Wyndham Woods.
So that's it. Yard of the Month. Well, yeah, 30 days. Duh.
well, that's like a
Thank
buddy
God
of mine.
it didn't happen in February. Am I right? But too
Yeah.
bad he didn't get one. He was probably like, oh, if it could have been August. Well, I guess August is a
Right.
tough time to have a Yard of the Month, isn't it?
Right.
Isn't it?
Isn't it?
Wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? Right.
Uh,
So here's another news flash for you, Bob. Something we could talk about here for a moment. I don't know if you can read this or see what it is.
It seems to be a piece of paper.
Yeah, can you read?
Oh,
any
it's an
of that?
invoice. Hold on. Let's get right up in there.
Yeah.
Invoice for.
This would be the state of Florida pinching me for $9 for a toll violation
I
went down to see my sister. And so here's the thing.
Well, you shouldn't have had
Here-
any trolls with you. You know better than this. They don't like the
Here's the-
heat.
So I paid all of the overpriced, way too frequently staggered tolls as I entered Orlando when I went down to visit my sister.
Yes.
I knew to have cash in the car. I know that they get you about every mile toward the end, so you barely get up to 55, 60 miles an hour and you're hitting the brakes again. I don't have the Sun Pass, so you got to go 40 lanes to the right over in Leperville, and you go over there and there's like one
No
scraggly
offense to
thing.
any lepers watching.
No, No, we have no problem with lepers. And so the thing is, then I did the whole thing, but
One was just here, by the way.
on the very last exit before you're off the toll road, which means then also the one that entered, it's like 75 cents, a buck in change only, and I didn't have it. And there are people stacking up behind me, and I'm going, okay, F you guys, I'm gone. And on the way home, I still paid all the other overpriced ones that I could.
So that's your 75-cent.
Yeah, times 2, which is $1.50. But after they come out,
do they have a payment plan?
Well, no, adjusted payments.
That took too long.
But fees charges $2.50. The new it's now $6. Anyway, they want $8.90
for your 75 cents
times 2, $1.50.
Just because you didn't have 3/4.
Right, and there's no other means by which to pay. So I would have had I had the proper or knowledge, like if I did that route every day. Oh, I'd have no, but the pass I don't even think works there. Maybe it does. I don't know. I don't care. $9. It probably took them. What do you think? $6 to process this paperwork and mail it to me.
And the guy who probably designed the forms probably still getting residuals for every one that gets sent out. So they got to process all that paperwork.
Speaking of residuals, I read a story last week where the little kid, he was 5 years old when he was in the movie Titanic.
Okay.
And he was one of the little Irish kids whose mom is reading him the bedtime story at the end when they're all going to die. And he was 5, and he still gets $250 a year. He'll get that mailbox money for the rest of his life. He didn't have any speaking. I think he had one line. When are we going to go to the boats, Mommy? Well, they have to take the first class passengers first, and we want to be ready now, don't we? And he goes, okay. And like, that's his lines. And then $250 isn't a lot, but just think every year, hey, there's my $250. You can go, I don't know, get yourself a new pair of fancy overpriced jeans or something. I don't know.
I think I'd buy ice cream with it, wouldn't you? I'm kidding. Maybe cake.
That's a lot of ice cream. $250 in ice cream buy you a lot
over
of
the course of a year. It's a year. It's $250.
Oh, okay.
A year.
You're putting
so you
like
get it, and then you disperse it out over the next. You put it in an interest-bearing account, right? And by the end of the year, you've made money on the deal. With aggressive investment. Yes. Haven't you heard about the magic of compounding interest?
An interest-bearing account, and then we'll place it in, an interest-bearing account.
Right. And member FDIC.
Member FDIC, SIPC, FINRA. You betcha. It must be 18 years or older to call.
Ask your parents before going online.
Ask your parents before you go onto the internet. That's right.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Oh. As Rob knows, that was playing when he came on before. I had it looping. I literally listened to that for 30 times. And you start to notice the nuances, like how the piano hits, and then you realize this thing was probably thrown together in literally 20 minutes.
Right.
They needed it done, and there were those singers and the guy with the piano, and that's it. They worked out some crude, simple harmony.
Yep.
Now I do notice though he says at some point the popcorn can't be beat. They all say it very precisely. So there was at least one round where somebody said, "Hey, no, we got to seriously. They're going to." And they may only use this once. They may only use this once until they can get the real singers in here.
Yeah.
Carol, do you remember that movie, that little reel from the movies back in the day?
Back when movies had just like a piano player and they were silent movies, like Charlie Chaplin or Buster Keaton.
Man, I wonder if you have Jam Kazam, if we get that going, then what you play will sound perfect, and we should be. I got to fix this for sure.
So when I play these sounds, they don't come through well. You
They
don't
come
hear them
okay,
well?
but they get all the compression that comes with whatever this
Oh.
technology is. And if one of us is talking, it distorts. And the same thing here. If I play something musically, it talks over you sometimes, and there's conflicts. We can't really have a nice, well blended, mixed, produced program because of
I
that.
didn't think you
However,
were that old, Carol. I have no. I'm not. I know you were not around to date Charlie Chaplin. All I'm saying is I just brought that up because I had the player piano. Carol said that she's not that old, and I.
I
agreed.
see. I
She
see.
wasn't. So yeah. So when we use the new platform, you're saying that the sound will be better, is what you're basically saying.
Well, we have a lot of testing to do, my friend. I have no idea how this would work within the context of the show, but I'd like to try it. What we're talking about, friends, is
Why do you do that?
is
Why
a
do you do
techno-
that?
What do
Well,
you
they're talking-
mean?
What do you mean?
I'm a veteran broadcaster. I fought in the big ones.
Yes, you did.
WSB, WRFC, and that's it. Really, I worked at 2 radio stations. That was my
Well,
career.
that's not much of a veteran at all.
That's-
You're barely a broadcaster,
I mean,
let alone veteran.
but I was at Wisby
Just
for a
because there's
while.
microphone in your closet in your house doesn't make you a broadcaster.
Hey, I seriously. Oh, this is okay. But here's
I do remember- go
if
ahead.
you cast your voice over a broad area, would you call yourself a broadcaster?
Yes.
Of course you would. So
Yes.
I used to be the kid in the neighborhood who I had a boombox with a microphone attachment where I could talk and it would amplify probably about 6 feet out, but it sounded like I was filling the neighborhood to me, and I'd be like, "Hey, everybody, it's the Bob Doyle Show," and I'd do the whole thing. I've been doing the Bob. The Bob Doyle Show. Yeah, well, I'm telling you, if I had echo back then, that would have been insane.
Yeah, you would have.
I remember what the microphone it was a plastic black microphone. I remember what it felt like in my hand. I mean, it was cheesy, but it made that broadcast, and somehow my mom let me do that, probably because, as I said, it probably got about 6 feet. But I felt like, oh man, everybody hears me. I'm on the radio. We'll be back to pick you up later.
Yeah, you were Jim Shorts, WFRT. You were doing the grain reports and all of that stuff.
No,
right?
there was no grain reports, but I was talking about something, and then my sister and I we'd do the Bob Doyle Show, and it had the theme song where I go.
Oh, you
dun,
had a
dun, dun.
theme
Oh, yeah.
song.
Well, I borrowed it. It's dun 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 dun. I did the whole thing. Okay, it's Bob. My voice was way up here. Back then, I was like 8 years old.
What song is that? Isn't it the same song where they spin plates on sticks? Isn't that
You
the
know what?
same music
I
band play-
I actually researched that at one point because what is that song? It's not "Hooray for Hollywood," but it's it's of that ilk. And I think I learned it at one point, and I have forgotten. So I'm not sure how to find that out.
But if you at home can, and you're able to go on the hop, you can do it.
Okay, so yeah. If you're the first one to identify that song in the comments, whenever, it can be tonight, it can be whenever you're watching this, which could be after the apocalypse.
So I tracked another package on Amazon like an old man. Here's another old man thing when you always give me a hard time. Oh, you're so old.
Okay.
And I was tracking. I got some plant food, and so it's plant food. You get this plant food.
Say no more.
Right, it's plant food, but I'll tell you what, the indoor plants, people actually come. How do you get them? They seriously will say that. How your plants are great. It's because you put chemicals in. Chemistry makes everything better anyway. And you would know, Bob, that chemistry makes anything better. So the point is, I was waiting for my plant food, and it came from Danville, Illinois.
Okay.
Danville, Illinois. Yes, and now I'm going to ask you. See, and look at your eyes are closed. You're thinking
Is that Father
about,
Knows Best? Is
No.
no? Is that Leave It to Beaver?
No, but you're in a better era now. Yes, you're closer with Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah, Danville.
Danville, Illinois. Who came from Danville, Illinois, boys and girls? What famous TV character hailed, along with his brother who played the banjo?
All right, so it's Dick Van Dyke then.
Yes.
All right.
Rob
Well,
Petrie.
I was waiting for that, but okay. So you were looking for the character Rob Petrie. He was from
Right.
Danville. So that was in some weird abstract corner of my brain. I don't
Isn't
know.
that funny? The other day, I remembered a chair my dad used to sit in the basement at the house in Chicago. I mean, like it came to me vividly. Almost, I could hear the squeaking of the springs when it would rock. Seriously, this just flashed into my head, and it kind of freaked me out for a second. And then I went, "That's been there the whole time."
That's exactly right. Isn't that interesting?
Right. It has been there the whole stinking time. It wasn't like it was inserted. It wasn't like a chip. Oh, here's some old memories from when you were 8.
And
Let's put those back in
something
there.
triggered it.
Yes. And I could almost the olfactory, almost the fragrance, if you will. But no, but you could, I mean, it was tangible.
It was a potent unleashing of a
memory.
something fired off, and you got the whole experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and some subtle weird thing. It could have
Right,
been
but
anything.
I don't know what triggered it, but the thing after I went through that and went, oh, that was cool. I forgot about that chair. Then I go, wow, I've been carrying that around in the bowl of spaghetti that is my brain all that time. For whatever reason, it decided to surface. Because you're the brain guy. You have a picture. You got.
Well, I'm more, but as such, I'm more interested in what might have triggered it. What combination of stimuli? Was it a color mixed with a sound mixed with? I mean, like just abstract. It was a code.
Well, okay.
Some sort of a code that went, oh, unlock that, and then you got that whole thing. It's just fascinating.
I'm fast. Yeah, the trigger. But to me, the whole idea that any memory that you go, wow, I haven't thought about that in years.
Yes.
But you've been toting it around like luggage. It's not like someone can. Now, every now and then someone will remind you, hey, remember when we did this? Oh, yeah, but that's different. This just popped into my head, man, about my dad's chair in the Chicago house, which they sold, I don't know, in the mid-'80s, maybe 90, no later than 90. That house was gone. So
Good
that house has been
times.
gone. Well, just, I don't know how the noggin works, but you have that paperweight of a noggin, right? Don't you have the brain paperweight there?
It's not a paperweight. It's a disassemblable model. It's for a classroom. Say, here's the amygdala, boys and girls. Would you like to pet it?
So that's a, what do they call that? A visual aid?
It's a visual aid
in your presentation.
Yes,
I remember
twice.
Every year, once a year, right about the end of summer season, every church I went to, there would always be a person from the board or the deacons, the bishops, the elders, whatever. Someone from accounting would stand up and give a little chin boogie on a Sunday toward the end of the summer to remind people, it's been summer. We've been going on vacations. School's out. So, attendance is down. But, we still have to make, it was all about keeping up with the money. We haven't been, the plate has not been as full because of summer. And then every one of them, Bob, would use the same ketchup, the little foil ketchup and they would put that up at the end. So please catch up. And they had the visual aid, please catch up. And they would have that little packet of ketchup, like from the cafeteria at school. And they all used it. It was always the same time of the year. And they thought that was such a fun visual aid to have that little, so please. And everyone had,
that hurts me from here to a place about a foot lower than that, above my belly button.
Below my belly button.
No, above.
Woo!
Yeah. It's like this, like a 10-inch area where it just, that hurt me.
Yeah. I don't know.
On so many levels, because I'm feeling for the guy who thinks this is the clever thing. And he saw it somewhere.
Last year.
Yes.
Right, they saw it last year, for goodness sake. And they said, no one will remember that.
And then, and then there's always every few cycles, I said, do I have to do the catch-up thing? Yes.
Yes, because we have to catch up with our tithing.
It's not fun. Everybody makes fun of it. Do the catch-up thing, Bill.
Do the catch-up thing. This is like an episode of The Office. That would be like something that every year that it's like, they do the catch-up speech. And
so
Tom did it last year. It just brought the place down. He brought the house down. He brought the whole thing down. Tom did it last year. And we got extra money that Sunday. So I'm doing the catch-up thing. I'm going to do it again.
Right. We'll see if you did the catch-up thing, Rob.
Right.
I can't do the catch-up thing, but you could do it.
Wait, when you get a hold of that joke, George.
Man, oh man. But that's you painted such a visual. You painted such a visual of the Office doing that, and everybody had to do it, and the character Stanley having to do the catch-up thing. For those who knows the show, I mean, that to me.
Please catch up.
Yeah.
Because you've been gone all summer. You've been on vacation. You went to German Fest. And now it's time to catch up.
What fest did you say?
German Fest.
Okay.
Deutsche Fest. You went to Deutsche Fest with the family, Deutschville. And now you're so pleased to catch up. I like the German music. It's fun.
And with those words, I am the hell out of here. I had enough of this foolishness. Thanks for nothing. They never paid me.
You've been watching The Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle. Join us every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and tell your friends and family to do the same. After all, we'd do it for you if you had a show. Probably.